What is up, duelists? Arts and Crofts here, once again bringing you your daily dose of Yu-Gi-Oh! Goat Format action. Today's feature match, we've got Alessandro24 versus Mokhalil. As always, both players rated in the top 200 of the Duelingbook Goat Format ladder at the time this match was played. Looks like Mokhalil won that RPS and will start us off. Both players on 40 cards. We'll see what the opening is going to be. Just a classic set back row pass, nothing too crazy. Alessandro's follow-up play here is going to be leading with an Upstart Goblin, thinning the deck just a little bit. And then a couple back row there as well, so no monsters played from either player just yet. Could be in for a long one here, maybe a little bit of a control mirror, potentially. Ooh, we're going to get End-Phase Scapegoat out of Mokhalil, so filling up the board up with Scapegoat tokens. I feel like this probably signifies Reasoning Gate, because you're not going to be just going End-Phase Scapegoat for no reason, right? Unless you have like a monster gate and you want to start comboing off. So that's my read here. Normally, if you're playing a control deck, you're going End-Phase Scapegoat with the intention of metaing a goat token into Thousand Eyes to steal an opponent's monster, but Alessandro, of course, has no monsters here, so this makes me think Mokhalil's on some sort of combo deck. See what they can do with this. We're going to get Draw Phase Trap Dust Shoot here. We'll get a nice sneak peek into what both players are playing. Alessandro here looks like, okay, interesting hand. Choosing not to set either the Faith or the Night Assailant turn 1, so just choosing not to use their normal summon, even though they could. A little bit interesting. We see main deck Minecon. Could very well just be Chaos Turbo, of course, with the main deck Mind Control. Mokhalil, yeah, as expected, they are on Reasoning Gate. So going for that Scapegoat play to turn the gate on, and this Dust Shoot will just whiff. This is one of those interesting things. Trap Dust Shoot is definitely playable against Reasoning Gate because sometimes sending back like a Sacred Crane so they don't have a normal summon for the turn to get a Monster Gate fodder on the board is really strong. However, oftentimes it will just sort of whiff here. It still probably makes the cut in most decks post-side, but it can be scary. At least now Alessandro does have full information, but they do get minused here. And Mokhalil has the Giant Trunade to bounce the other back row if they want, and they can start comboing off. So this might be a pretty short game, but we'll see exactly how Mokhalil wants to play this one out. So yeah, no cards, of course, sent back there from the Dust Shoot. We're going to go Trunade, bounce the set, and now everything is clear for Mokhalil to go and combo off. We're going to see Monster Gate flipping into Sacred Crane, so just replacing itself. Getting a couple spells engraved there, but nothing crazy. Got Monster Gate here again, tributing the Sacred Crane, getting a light engrave. And this time they flip into another Sacred Crane, so Crane into Crane. Just drawing a bunch of cards. Interested to see if they have any extenders here. We're going to go Premature Burial for the other Crane. Oh, so that's another reason why you Monster Gate your Sacred Crane away, is to give you an actual Premature Burial target. Alright, let's see. Ooh. Sorry, messing with my DPI on my mouse there. But yeah, Premature is going to revive the Sacred Crane, try and dig into another extender. They find Giant Trunade to bounce the Premature Burial to set up for future turns. And then we're going to go Tribute Summon for Dark Magician of Chaos. So they drew the Democ at some point off of these Sacred Crane activations. Gonna just hard summon the Democ here. Probably you grab a Monster Gate to continue the combo, and you have the Premature Burial in hand here to revive another Sacred Crane and draw another card as well. So, not the most straightforward combo turn just yet here for Mokhalil, but things are looking pretty good now that they've resolved a Democ. Yeah, regrab Monster Gate, of course, continue to extend. We are going to tribute a token here, which makes me think that they don't have Dimension Fusion on deck just yet. Let's see what they flip into. Jinzo is really good, so this is a pretty strong board here. And remember, this is Mokhalil's second turn of the game, so they can attack here. So really, you just need to find 8,000 points of damage here, already over halfway. So things are looking good, kind of on pace here for Mokhalil. We can Premature Burial for the Crane. That gets us to 3, 4, 6,800, so not lethal just yet, but definitely a lot of damage, and they're going to get another draw off this Sacred Crane. And we're just going to go and get in for a ton of damage. Not going to be an OTK, but you have the Jinzo here to protect your board, which is quite nice, and you're passing with lethal, which is quite strong. Especially pre-side, when Alessandro's not going to have the anti-Reasoning Gate stuff in their deck. This might just be enough, but Alessandro will have one turn to try and pick apart this board. Left on 1,200 life points. They do have Snatch Steal. We're going to snatch the Dark Magician of Chaos, which is the strongest monster on the board. So you could use that to wipe out the Jinzo, turn on traps if you have any in your hand. Could be interesting. Yeah, we're going to wipe out that Jinzo. Makaleo will take 400. Jinzo will get banished, setting up for potential Dimension Fusion in the future. Now we're just going to go set a monster, set a back row pass. So keeping this Demok with the Snatch Steal around, Makaleo will gain a little bit of life from that. But their two biggest boss monsters here have been dealt with, so they're going to have to rebuild their board. Draw for turn, gain in standby phase. They have a Metamorphosis in hand to go into Thousand Eyes Restrict to just steal that Demok right back, or do you go and try and steal the set monster, perhaps, to prevent it from resolving? We're going to immediately just ring the Thousand Eyes on summon, so no choice. I mean, I feel like Alessandro, probably you wait a little bit just to see what they choose to suck in with the Thousand Eyes, because that could give you a little bit more intel as to what's in Makaleel's hand. But it's super marginal, of course. Thousand Eyes will hit the grave, though, and Makaleel's just going to put the shields up, Crane to defense, set a couple back row, and Alessandro is hanging on for dear life with 1,200 life points, but they do have a nice big Dark Magician of Chaos on the board to pressure Makaleel. Now, killing the Sacred Crane with the Demok, sending it to the Banish Zone, is very much a double-edged sword. Notably, Chaos is live for Makaleel now that the Thousand Eyes is engraved, by the way. Looks like Makaleel didn't have that available to them just yet, but Demok killing the Sacred Crane could set up for a pretty nice Dimension Fusion down the line. So Alessandro has to choose carefully how they want to play this one out without just granting Makaleel a bunch of resources. We're going to, yeah, so playing around that by democking, by having Demok kill the last token, also plays around potential other copies of Metamorphosis, of course, and keeping that Crane out of the Banish Zone for now. Going to add another set monster and another back row. Not flipping this one up makes me think that it might just be like a Sinister Serpent or something. Although we did know that Alessandro had Night Assailant in hand. I feel like you probably want to flip the Night Assailant, though, if that is what it is. I mean, maybe it's just Magician of Faith that they don't want to flip just yet. I guess it could be a little bit scary to flip up a low attack monster like Magician of Faith or Night Assailant right now. Even if they get you value, you'll just die to, like, Dimension Fusion on the Jinzo, beat over the low attack monster. So maybe we're just playing with an abundance of caution here and keeping our low monsters in defense position, which definitely makes sense. You're giving up on some value, but you definitely have to play pretty carefully at this point in time with your life points so low. And, like, if the first card was Magician of Faith, your only target's an Upstart Goblin, which isn't, like, amazing. So I can understand playing it safe here for the time being. The only annoying thing, though, well, actually, I guess you don't care, right? Because all three monster gates are in the grave. So you can afford to kind of slow roll this, because leaving a monster on board for Makaleel isn't as bad as it normally would be, because they have no monster gates to use it for. And it's not like it's a good meta target. So actually, yeah, I like this play, because basically the only card that Makaleel had that could start a foot combo here would be Reasoning, and the Crane being on board doesn't do anything to change that. Makaleel has another Sacred Crane, though. Okay, we're going aggressive. We're going to try and pop these set monsters. Crane kill one. It's the Night Assailant. Okay, so we're going to kill the other Crane. So likely Alessandro trying to protect their Magician of Faith is my guess here. And Assailant will just trade with the Crane. And now this Crane is in attack position, which could be a good amount of damage here for Alessandro, beating over with the Demok. But, like I mentioned before, that does mean Crane will get banished, setting up for a potentially nice Dimension Fusion. So, interested to see how Alessandro plays this one out. You got to be prepared for a little bit of a mini combo out of Makaleel at any point here. Going to draw for turn. We're going to flip someone Dekoichi. Okay, so not a Magician of Faith. And we're going to start... Yeah, Dekoichi is a really good card against Reasoning Gate because it floats for value, and 1400 attack is just nice when you're trying to pressure the combo player before they can combo off. So really, really solid resolution of this Dekoichi. Now, at this point, I feel like you just need to go Demok, banish the Crane, and start beating with the Dekoichi. Even if it sets up for a better Dimension Fusion, I think this is totally fine. Oh, we're actually just not going to attack, so really, really worried about this Crane leaving the board. But the issue here is that Snatch Shield is just going to gain Makaleel life every turn. And eventually they're gonna be able to find some sort of way to combo you off. Like, Alessandro should be the player being aggressive in this matchup, right? It looks like they're just playing Chaos Turbo. And you want to clock your opponent, otherwise they can just draw into their combo stuff, right? There's still up to 3 copies of Reasoning left in the deck, still Dimension Fusions rolling around. Like, I understand being cautious about banishing the Sacred Crane, but if you're just putting their life points out of reach with this Snatch Steal turn after turn and not actually pressuring them, it's like, okay, you might lose to a Dimension Fusion, but you're also just going to lose doing this as well. So maybe you just bank on them not having the defusion, perhaps. We'll see how it's going to end up, though, but Makhalil definitely happy to let Alessandra continue to be passive here, of course. Should be gain the life off the Snatch Steal, of course. We're going to go normal summon Fusilier Dragon, just a 1400 attack beater, but a decent Metamorphosis target, if they want to go for that. Now we're going to go Crane, kill the Koichi. That's 200 damage to Alessandro. That's not nothing. That's a full 1/6 of their current life point total. And then the 1400 attack Fusilier Dragon will go attack the other set monster, which was the Magician of Fate that we knew about. That will bounce Upstart Goblin back to Alessandro's hand. It does turn Chaos on, which is nice, finally getting a Light Engrave. But man, Upstart Goblin to gain them another 1,000 life, it's going to make it really tough to close out this game with any semblance of pace here. Yeah, Upstart back to hand. Pass turn. Alessandro will fire off that Upstart. Yeah, really needs to find something to do here. They found a Thunder Dragon. Not amazing, because Chaos is already live, unless you have multiple Chaos monsters. I don't think you're in the business of tributing over the Demok here. So we're just going to go to battle phase, saying, okay, at this point, I need to start doing something. I feel like you could have just done this last turn, but Demok is going to go ahead and kill the Sacred Crane. Mirror Force is just going to come out, though, and now Makhalil is passing, or is threatening lethal on board here. So Alessandro going to need some sort of defense, otherwise this will be a quick game. Main phase 2, normal summon Tribe Infecting Virus. Okay, with plenty of cards in hand. 2 Thunder Dragons to kill both of these if they want. Going to use it once. Call Machine, kill the Fusilier. Yeah, Crane wasn't called yet. Oh, and then we're going to go, yeah, Premature Tribute on the field. Then we're going to go summon Chaos Sorcerer and banish the Crane anyway. Okay, that's kind of funny. I wonder if you needed to do this, or if you could have just Tribe killed the Crane, because then Premature would be in the grave, Call the Haunted is in grave. Like, you'd actually rather these Cranes be in the graveyard, right, rather than the banish zone at this point. It's not like they have double Chaos Live already, so you don't really care. Yeah, interesting choice there. I feel like we played so much around not banishing the Crane early on, so to just run out this Sork for little reason. I mean, I guess it's a nice defensive option, just a big body to protect your life points. But now Dimension Fusion out of Makhalil is really, really strong. And you could have just Tribe killed the Crane if you really wanted to. It's not like you really care about having your second Thunder Dragon in hand. So, interesting play there. Makhalil has 1,000 points of damage to get through, but is staring down a formidable board here. Tribe plus Sork can get a lot of stuff done. Gonna set a back row pass. Okay, so maybe Alessandro can start making work on the life points. There's no need to play around Mirror Force anymore, because it's already in the grave. So you just want to attack with both of these and clock the opponent as much as possible. Interesting play. Scapegoat's going to come out. Tribe can just clean that up pretty easily in main phase 2. Discarding Delinquent Duo, which is just completely dead, so that makes sense. You do not have 1,000 life points to pay. Makhalil does have Chaos Live. We're going to go summon Blackluster Soldier. Okay, so maybe that was the point of Tribe to defense, is so that you don't lose to BLS attack over it, potentially. So maybe that was the idea there. That I can kind of understand. Although now it just like dies to a Crane or a Fusilier or something, but I guess if you don't have any sort of battle trap to deal with the Blackluster Soldier, might as well play it safe. See what the play is. We're going to agree to draw a card. Playing around Dust Shoot there by summoning the BLS first. BLS banished the Sork, so we're not going for damage. BLS, of course, over Sork there would not be lethal. We haven't seen Mirror Force yet, so I understand playing a little bit safe. And then we're going to go Tribute for Air Knight, which is not game, but is very, very close. Really interesting play there. Air Knight beat over the Tribe, and that's going to deal 900 damage to Alessandro, dropping them to 100, and Makalil will get to draw a card, which is very strong. But you did get rid of your own BLS for this, which is kind of interesting. But, I mean, I guess getting the damage and the +1 is kind of nice. I just feel like Air Knight, we haven't seen any spies out of Alessandro yet. So unless Air Knight was going to be like the alpha strike to win the game, I feel like BLS might have just been better. Well, actually, I guess never mind, because you need to kill the Tribe this turn, obviously, right? Otherwise, it'll just kill the BLS. So BLS is dead anyway if you don't have another out to Tribe. So Mokalil kind of forced into doing this. It is a little bit awkward, but they do get to pass with lethal on board. 100 life points here for Alessandro left. Ring still potentially left in deck for Makalil. So still looking pretty good here. We'll see if Air Knight can get the job done. Alessandro has BLS of their own, though. Okay, so we're getting aggressive. I like this. No reason to keep the monsters out of the grave. Gonna hit them for a ton of damage here and really start clocking them, yeah. So now BLS is a 3-turn clock at this point. And this is a lot for Makalil to deal with. Oh, we got Trap Dust Shoot here. Gonna send back Chaos Sorcerer. See what both players have in hand. We know Alessandro has the Thunder Dragon. Makalil has some good stuff, though. Heavy... Ooh, man. What, is there good stuff in Grave? Ooh, yeah, so I feel like you just have game, probably. You can just go Heavy Storm into Dimension Fusion, and then you can, like, premature the BLS, maybe. Or, yeah, I mean, or premature Air Knight and just beat over whatever Alessandro summons there. You only need to deal 100 damage, so... Yeah, I feel like this is probably a game unless Alessandro has, like, Solemn Judgment. But even if they have Solemn, Reasoning is still live. So, yeah, the Dust Shoot does hit there. Gets to spin back that Sorcerer, but I don't think Makalil really cares too much. We're going to Heavy Storm, blow up the back row, and yeah, Alessandro sees the writing on the wall, sees the winning line, and game 1 goes to Makalil on Reasoning Gate against Alessandro's Chaos Turbo list, which is kind of how the matchup is expected to go. These more rogue decks, really, they make their money on winning game 1 and then trying to grind out a win post-side once all the hate comes in from, like, the Chaos Turbo list. So Alessandro will be able to go first here in game 2, will be able to bring in all of their side deck hate for Reasoning Gate, and it's going to be an uphill battle for Makalil, but they just need to win one of the next 2 games, so definitely possible for them to take down this match, despite it being a little bit rough post-side. See what Alessandro can lead out with. It's going to be Thunder Dragon, good start. Thin the deck a little bit. Get a Light Engrave. And then Pot as well. Nice job there. Into Set Monster, couple back row. If this is Spy or Dekoichi, this could be very, very strong. Magician of Faith would be really strong as well, just to regrab that pot. So nice opening turn here from Alessandro, really putting the pressure on Makalil. Let's see what they can do. Just going to set a couple back row pass. Definitely could be a little bit of scapegoat action in the mix here. Grenade Enpei's Jar of Greed, though. Yeah, Reasoning Gate is a list that is a deck that can sometimes play Decrees. They play Jinzo, so their card kind of already built around not having access to a lot of trap cards. So Alessandro going for the end phase Jar to play around a potential Decree here definitely makes sense to me. We're going to flip summon Spy, so this is maximum aggression here. This is 2,400 damage, threatening to come down. Yeah, I like this nice aggressive play here for Alessandro. Really starting to clock the opponent. Makalil is just going to take it, sure, and then we're going to add a couple back row and set a monster pass, so lots of aggression here from Alessandro. Makalil potentially thinking about if they want to scapegoat here to block the damage from the spies, but the risk there is Alessandro hadn't used his normal summon yet, so main phase 2, there could just be normal summon, try to wipe out the scapegoats, and then you don't have any fodder for your monster gate anymore, potentially. Could also, of course, just be like a bluff think or something. But if you have Scapegoat, that's definitely an interesting point of do you use it to protect yourself from the damage or not. Looks like no end phase Scapegoat, though, so potentially Makalil just doesn't have it anyway. They are just going to fire off a Reasoning, though, so going for a combo. No True Nade or Heavy Storm to clear out the back row, so this might be a little bit tricky. Alessandro here, you probably call 4 to turn off Monster Gate. They're going to call 6, though, so worried about Jinzo, which is definitely a possibility. It is just going to hit the Crane, though, and this will get a monster on board for Makhalil. They'll get to draw a card. And this could be dangerous to see the combo extend. Think about on resolution. We're going to ring the Crane. Okay, so that makes sense. If you had ring to just deal with the Crane on resolution to take away the monster gate fodder, if ring is your answer to the monster, you definitely don't want Jinzo hitting the board. So I like the 6 call here from Alessandro. Getting use out of the ring. 1,600 damage to Makhalil is also pretty nice, dropping them all the way to 4,000. And these spies are going to do a lot of work if they go unanswered here. Huh, interesting. No, you did not chain ring to the summon. No, you can't torrential here. There's no way. No, he did not chain ring to the summon. He waited until the resolution and the chain resolved and Crane drew a card and then activated ring. So the summon window was already gone there. You would have had to chain torrential to the Crane effect. You can't wait until you draw a card and then activate torrential. Yeah, Alessandro has priority here to use a quick effect before Makhalil can go and use Monster Gate after the Crane effect to draw a card resolves. So Alessandro's playing this correctly. Okay, we're just gonna let the tribute summon for Jinzo go through. Not a huge fan of this, but Prio is yours? No. Yeah, I think Alessandro might have misplayed here, misunderstanding who gets priority. But after the resolution of the Crane, unless Makhalil has a quick effect or an ignition effect, which tribute summoning for Jinzo, or activating Monster Gate is not, Alessandro has a window there to ring the Crane and prevent this from happening. But that's what happens when you don't fully understand the rules of the card game. And Alessandro is going to get pretty heavily punished here with Jinzo hitting the board, shutting off that ring that we know about. And now they can fire off a second reasoning gate, knowing that no traps are going to get in their way. Calling 8 here to prevent Demock from coming through, that definitely seems correct at this point in time. Finding just another copy of Sacred Crane, though. So Makhalil just digging a little bit further into the deck. And we're just going to get aggressive here. Jinzo will kill a spy. Crane will kill the other spy. Deal a good amount of damage. Alessandro will drop down to 4,800, which isn't super duper low, but definitely a nice big board here. And it seemed like Alessandro's only outs to this stuff was traps. So Jinzo here going to do a lot of work here for Makhalil. Unless Alessandro has like Snatch Steal or something. See what the play is, though. Ooh, Chaos is also pretty nice. We're going to summon Chaos Sorcerer. Not going to use Prio. That's fine. We're going to discard Thunder Dragon to get another Light Engrave. Summon BLS. Nice. Yeah, I mean, this is all safe because Jinzo is on board, so I like not using Prio. Keep the Jinzo around so you can just summon all these playing around the Torrential that we know Makhalil has. So we're in this weird position where both players know what one of the set cards are. So you really want to play around Torrential here by keeping the Jinzo on board. So Alessandro using this information to their advantage. And now we can just go to battle phase. Okay, so BLS is going to kill Jinzo. This does play into Mirror Force. You could have killed the Crane first, so that at least you get to wipe their board before Mirror Force potentially comes down. So we'll see if this second attack goes through just fine. It will. Okay, so Makhalil does not have... Oh, sorry, never mind. Mirror Force was already in the grave. I guess that got milled off of the reasoning. So no need to play around that, so it didn't really matter. I mean, I guess you still probably want to kill the Jinzo last, in case Makhalil has some sort of trap, right? But Sork's going to get in for a bunch of damage, and now you just have Ring for game if you're Alessandro. Scapegoat's going to come through, protect their life points, keep them out of Ring for game range. But Alessandro had a very, very strong turn here. Double Chaos, wiping Makhalil's board. Makhalil will have a little bit of time to... potentially build back, though. Could also just, like, wipe the board with their own Torrential Tribute, which would be interesting. Let's see what they have here. Gonna go activate Giant Shrunade. So Alessandro has an interesting opportunity to, like, ring here to put Makhalil off of Dimension Fusion life, which could be interesting. Definitely gonna depend. I mean, that actually doesn't seem too terrible. Yeah, you could, like, ring your Sork, keep the BLS around, perhaps. putting Makhalil down below 2,000 life points. I actually don't hate that. We'll see if they choose to do it, though. Thinking hard. No, just going to let it resolve. And now Makhalil could go for a big combo here. We're going to go Monster Reincarnation. Lots of goodies engraved. BLS is live, so probably just going to see that come back to hand. Discard Dimension Fusion. Okay. I mean, I guess at this point in time, Dimension Fusion isn't super duper amazing for Makhalil. But if they're able to go summon BLS and then Dimension Fusion back a nice big board, could be a little bit scary. BLS is just going to come down, though. I mean, annoyingly, kind of like last game, Makhalil is forced to deal with both of these Chaos Monsters. Otherwise, their BLS is just going to die. So maybe they're forced to just, like, attack over the Sork and then trade BLSs, which would be a little bit unfortunate. But we'll see if they have any other options here at the time being. Yeah, just going to have to go and do that. BLS kill the Sork and then trade them. So this is actually pretty card advantage negative for Makhalil because they had to Monster Reincarnation for that. And Alessandro is just in a really good spot, I feel like. Makhalil can set a couple back row, but Alessandro's up 1,000,000 cards. A lot of really good combo pieces from Makhalil have already been used. All right. We're going to flip summon Night Assailant, kill a token, sure. And then Tribute for Thunder Dragon, just get a nice beater on board. You probably want to... Well, actually, I guess we know Torrential is likely set here for Makhalil. So you want to give them the opportunity to do this, turning on Chaos if you have like another Sork in hand, and then start beating in for some damage. So interesting choice here for Makhalil if they want to play into a potential Chaos Sorcerer or not. They're going to Torrential here, wipe the board. They no longer have any Monster Gate targets. And Alessandro, if you have Chaos Sorcerer in hand, that'd be pretty strong. But no, having already used Normal Summon, just going to have to set 3 back row pass. So Makhalil survives for now, but very, very low on resources. But Alessandro had to has used up a lot of threats here. Spy's gone, 2 Chaos gone. Oftentimes, Turbo will side out a Sork post side as well, so they might not even have any more Chaos than this live. And we know that they have a single Thunder Dragon in hand. Or no, sorry, no Thunder Dragons in hand. So, might be tough for them to muster up more attack points anytime soon. Makhalil is just going to fire up Dimension Fusion. Okay, we're going to get Jinzo back on board. We're going to get Crane on board to dig into the deck. Alessandro will get to bring back all of these strong-ish monsters, but none of them are stronger than Jinzo. So we're going to be all in on the Jinzo game plan here, I think, for Makhalil to try and grind this one out. Dropping down to 1,600 life points, but turning off, importantly, the ring that we know Alessandro has set. Alessandro, you should be summoning your banished monsters. Why are we not doing that? This is not Return from the Different Dimension. Seems like both players having a little bit of issues with the rules here. Kind of funny. Okay, and we're just going to concede? I mean, I guess it would have just been... Let's see the hand. Okay, they just really didn't have anything, so it's probably just game anyway. You should definitely read your opponent's cards, right? Because you wouldn't have lost right then. Jinzo would have done a ton of work, but you could have, like, traded Crane with the Thunder Dragon. Sinister could have blocked up the Jinzo for a while. Like, you weren't going to lose just yet. It was going to be tough. Makhalil had a Monster Gate to go into a bigger monster. They had another Scapegoat. So things were definitely looking really good for Makhalil here. But, yeah, a little bit of rules confusion from both players here, unfortunately. That does happen sometimes. But Makhalil is going to take it down 2-0, Reasoning Gate versus Chaos Turbo. Yeah, Jinzo just doing a ton of work here in Game 2. Turbo is a very, very trap-heavy deck often, so Jinzo can just sometimes ruin its day, as we saw here. In Game 1, right, Reasoning Gate is generally a little bit favored to win, and Makhalil was just able to get, you know, a nice combo off. Alessandro got stuck into a weird rut where their only out to Makhalil's board was Snatch stealing a Dark Magician of Chaos. But DMOC, after it's been summoned, doesn't really do too much besides just, like, attack of return. And Makhalil was just able to kind of stall out until they can go for another combo later on to win that game. And that is going to be GG's there, 2-0. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I will catch you all next time.